of 1 week national level online FDP on how to write and publish research papers. Dr. Kavita madam, am I
Yes, sir.
audible? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, okay. So dear participants, kindly introduce yourself through chat box, your name, designation, department, college institute name, city name, etc. I repeat, dear participants, kindly introduce yourself through chat box, your name, designation, department, college institute name, city name, etc. 8:05 will start the session. Madam, so sharp at 8:05, kindly start the session, please.
Yes, sir, definitely.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Bro, kasih buat kopi. Enggak instan aja. Iya. Balik. Baik ini sebenarnya. Baik, terus tutup. Kira dulu. Dua,
Madam.
Yes, sir, definitely.
Okay, madam. Thank you, madam.
Thank you, sir. First of all, very welcome to all participants who are present here in this 7 days faculty development program, which is focused to write how to write the research paper in an effective way. And today is the last session, which is focused on to publication ethics and plagiarism. Here we are also going to discuss or cover up what are the different do's and don'ts for the effective research paper. So let's start the session with the discussion on the learning objectives of the session. First of all, where the first objective of this session is define the significance of publication ethics. We are also going to explain the plagiarism and practical application of the plagiarism software. So let's discuss the meaning of research ethics, where Nicholas von Hoffman posted that we are so preoccupied with the defending our privacy against insurance investigators, Doppelus Sulutus, counter-antagonist man, were diverse detective and credit checkers that we overlook the social scientist behind hunting the blind, who are also peeping up into what we thought were our most private and secretive lives. Your research ethic is a disciplined study or morality that you have to follow, and morality asks the question that what should one behavior be? Here, this is the another thought which is derived from Greek word ethos. That means character is a systematic study of values, concept, good or bad, right or wrong, and general principles that justify applying these concepts in practical. Basically, these research ethics are some application of behavior which are uh, uh, responding in good and bad ways. Means what is good for the research and what is bad for the research. Means what is supposed to be do and what is not supposed to be do for the research purpose. Basically, there are two types of the ethics: descriptive ethics, which ask what does the culture or society believes in moral correct. Here, other type of perspective ethics that ask how should I behave as a researcher? What character traits should I cultivate? Means these are two important research ethics that you will come to know that how this descriptive ethic is different with this perspective ethics. So why is this important? Why this research ethic is important? You will have many questions to answer, and you will need a framework from which to answer these questions. Two type of ethical decision making: deductive or principle based, and inductive, that is case based. Deductive or principle based reasoning for ethics is start with the ethical theory. Means you are having the theory in your hand, means what you supposed to do and what you're not supposed to do, and then you will continue with the specific principles and develop rules and make your own judgment. Where deductive reasoning is represented here with this sequence, where ethical theory, principle, rules, judgment. Means you are having first of all in your hand theory that is representing you different principles, different rules, different regulations, different directions that you need to follow. After
Recording
that,
in progress.
you will need judgment. Deductive reasoning is where theory you are having ethical theory in your hand, then different principles are there, and rules, different judgments you have made, and after that peace, violence, and war. Means accordingly you will move ahead. Case-based reasoning is where decisions have been made. Okay, have been made precedent and look back at those decisions and combine them in order to make a judgment. Judgment reflect back into rule, where rules reflect in our principles and principle reflect back in your theory. What exactly is going on? Case-based reasoning is saying that first of all, you have taken your decision and you are taking care that what are sort of different decisions have been taken earlier also related to the same concept. After that, you are making your judgment, and after that, you are making your principles, and after that, you are preparing your principles or following your principles. Decisions have been made avoid war and move and to the Canada, where US declares war on Canada. Judgment is defend yourself. Rule is join army, protection, protect children. Principle is family important, and ethical theory. Means this is the case based reasoning where first of all the decision have been made that avoid the war and try to move Canada, where the US declared the war on Canada. Where deductive reasoning is representing that there is no war. And case-based reasoning is representing that fight the war. Whatever the fight there is, you have to, whatever the war there is, you have to face or you have to fight. So somewhere deductive reasoning is negative in sense, or it is somewhere having try to avoid the situation, where case-based reasoning is positive, or it is representing that how to face the situation. Conflict between decision, when there is argument, go back to the original principle. Ask yourself, what were my original principle? Original principles are conflict or incoherent. Conflict between decision. There will be conflict, always conflict there is, and you will use both type of ethical decision making to make decision. When conflict arise, go back to the original principle and try to create coherent by dealing with the specific principle, basically. Here, what does this have to do with the research? How this ethic is connected or associated with the research? Ethic is about creating a mutually respectful relationship with the research population, where respect subjects are pleased to participate, where community regards to conclusion as constructive. Ethically insensitive researcher can leave the research setting up in the pandemonium, where the researcher institution the cause that he or she seeks to promote. The failure to treat subject with this respect can result in the data that is misleading, inconclusive, or biased. Means there may be some failure in the ethics, and how this is representing that may be misleading, or maybe inconclusive, or maybe biased. Scientists involve the intents of demanding the enterprise of the research often overlook the interest and perspective of the research subject. Subject may respond to lies and subterfuge. Where problem encountered in the behavior research by National Commission included lack of informed consent, no debriefing, restoration of to an emotional state equal to what was experienced before the experiment. Problem encountered in the behavior research by National Commission includes the deception was a standard tool, invasion of the privacy. And problem encountered with the biomedical research by National Commission is including that lack of informed consent. Means you are not having the consent of the respondent and you are collecting the data without any consent, and disregard the risk encountered by the patient. Means you are not counting out the risk that is involved in the decision, and you are not communicating this research to the patient also, and deception also. The problem encountered in the biomedical research by National Commission includes Beecher, where 1966 article was published in the New England Journal of Medical, where Tuskegee untreated the spills of in black male. Beecher in 1966 article was published in England Journal of Medicine, where penicillin and rheumatic fever for that purpose, effect of high level of blood CO2 and metastatic melanoma. Means what exactly is where you are conducting any research and you are not communicating to the participant who is directly involved, then definitely it is very bad on your part. You need to communicate this to the participant on whom this experiment is going on, because this is very important ethic. So scientists attempted to critically examine the questionable research practice and to recommend change, but could not. So the federal government brought numerous violations and issues to the forefront in 1974, mandated the establishment of Institutional Review Board, National Research Act. Why this Research Act came into existence? Because of although social science is not including any dangerous aspect for any human being, if it is not paired test. Otherwise, if it is a paired test, then definitely it may include some dangerous aspects. Otherwise, medical science is including many dangerous aspects in research. So you need to take care of each and every aspect that need to be communicated well in advance, and every aspect need to be under surveillance or under governance also. The role of Institutional Review Board is to determine whether the rights and welfare of the subject are adequately protected, and whether the study adheres to sound ethical and scientific principles. Federal regulation have been established in order to provide the standards for monitoring the all the research activities related to people who volunteer as subject to the research. Abiding by these standards ensure the ethical conduct of the research, where the act also created by the national commissions for protection of human subject of biomedical behavioral research, wrote in Belmont report in 1979. If I'm talking about the National Commission for Protection of Human Resource or Human Subject of Biomedical and Behavioral Research, that was commissioned to develop the guidelines to ensure that human research was conducted ethically. This was the body or regulatory body which is came into existence just to ensure that if human research is involved, then the research need to be ethically conducted. They were told to look at literature, first of all, look at arguments that people made earlier or experts made earlier, review what ethics were saying about research, and ask what are the fundamental principles behind the decision make or should make about research. Here, this is a report of Belmont report to 1979, which respect the treat others and autonomous agents allow people choice. Means people are having the choice to be a part of research or not to be a part of research. Means you cannot force that you are having all the characteristics that are required for the research, and you need to be part of the research because this is very important research for any purpose. But you need to take the consent first of all of the respondent. Beneficence act of kindness that go beyond the charity and duty. Various obligations do no harm, promote good. Means this is again very important element of this Belmont report, that you need to communicate that whatever the act is going on, this is good. and it is not harming at any cost. Otherwise, do not conduct that activity. And justice is treat people fairly, not as a entity or not as a an object. So even though medical research is important, it is very important, but it doesn't mean that you are harming any living being for a research purpose only. Applying the principle of Belmont report, their principle is respect for the person, and meaning is each person has individual right, definitely, and practices obtain informed consent. First of all, protect their privacy and maintain the confidentiality of the report, because there may be certain fact that you reveal in your report, and with the proper mention of name and other no information of the respondent, that is again unethical. So beneficence is saying that provide benefits to the respondent or to the participant, protect from harm and limit or minimize the risk. And practice is saying risk benefit assessment made, standards procedure used. Justice is where equitable selection of subject means if the respondent is having all the required parameters or characteristics, that doesn't mean he will be definitely part of your research, because he is having his own rights. So equitable selection of subject, not according to your convenience. Include all the groups that may benefit, but does not single out one group. Two entities within DHHS have authorities to oversee the conduct and clinical trials, and IRBs, where OHRP is saying that primary duty is to implement policies and regulations that involve human. Before 2000, the office was OPRR, which is transferred, changed in OHRP. If I'm talking about FDA, then it is oversees the regulation of drugs, biologics, devices, food, and veterinary medicines. Here, this OHRP is relying on assurance of compliance that is negotiated with the institution. The assurance document sets forth the mean by which the institution will compile with the regulation, where FDA uses the system of inspection as well as audits, inspect about the IRB on routine basis. That is again very important and significant also. OHRP, where HHS regulations related to IRB responsibilities are codified at 45 CFR 46. If I'm talking about the FDA regulations that are somewhere related to IRB responsibilities are codified at 21 CFR 50 and 56, that are similar but not identical to HHS. Audit occurs approximately every 4 years, means on 4 years interval. 6 norms of scientific research, where you need to consider valid research design, take into account relevant theories, methods, and prior findings. Means you need to conduct the literature review. First of all, consider it is as a very important step for the research. After that, take into account the relevant theory which are associated with that topic, and what the research methodology has been used by the earlier experts. Then only you can go with your research. Otherwise, there may be some hurdles that you may face during your research. Another one is competence of researcher, where capable to carry out the procedure. Means you need to understand whether you are capable to complete the research or not, or you started to work with without any reason. So identification of consequences, assessment of risk and benefits, minimize benefits and minimize risk. maximize benefits. Means you need to understand what is cost benefit analysis, how this cost is associated with benefits. Selection of subject appropriate to the purpose of the study, representative of population that will benefit from research and appropriate in number. Voluntary informed consent. Definitely, this is a very important element of any research that is obtained before studying begin, and without the undue threat, inducement, with enough information and agreement to the participant. Means you not need to influence the respondent according to your requirements, but you need to take consent first of all. Even though in social sciences also, even though in my a number of researches, I took the consent first in the first part in the questionnaire, that if you are willing to give the information, then only, otherwise you may drop. So consent is very important wherever you are conducting any social science research or any medical science research. So compensation of injury, definitely it is your responsibility for what happened to the subject. Federal law requires that subject to be informed about compensation, but does not require compensation. Means if required or not required, you need to communicate well in advance that if anything wrong happen, then this kind of the compensation we will give you for that kind of the damage. Means how the damage is going to be compensated. Public perception of research, it is a benefit that and risk that is shaped by the way of research is conducted. Basically it is no analysis of risk and benefits, that how much risk is involved and how much risk benefits are associated with that decision. So let's go move towards the plagiarism. This is again very important element of any research, where source of image and reference, citation for quotation and paraphrase material, and provided the note under each slide. In the note version of this PowerPoint presentation, no plagiarism. Means you need to give the sources for whatever image you have included in your research. If you have taken some pictures or some graph, graph you are generating according to the data, but if you have inserted or adopted a few pictures, few figures out of any document that is earlier prepared or generated by any researcher, in that case you need to give the source of that document, as well as the proper reference or proper acknowledgement of that document. Otherwise it is not ethical. If you are collecting few photograph on your part, then also you need to give the reference that okay, these documents are not taken from any document, but these are clicked by the researcher by himself or herself. But the proper citation or proper reference is required for any picture or any figure. Plagiarism means the appropriation of another person's idea, process, result, word without giving appropriate credit. Definitely, why I am doing any research? For the contribution towards society, for the contribution towards literature, and for the contribution towards upcoming generation. If you are using my document for your research, then definitely you can use that, but you need to give a proper acknowledgement to me also. Otherwise this is unethical. That what every document is requiring, every document is demanding, that you need to give the proper acknowledgement to the idea, to the process, to the result, to the words, without any hesitation. Appropriation means using or taking something that is not yours. Means if I am using any picture that is not clicked by me and I am putting that picture in my book, then this is coming under plagiarism. So plagiarism is stealing by using another person's word or idea. Suppose any researcher have conducted or have prepared any document, and I came across that okay, this document is very interesting and very significant for my research, and this figure is very impressive, and I need this figure in my document. Then what's harm to use this figure in my document? But you need to give the proper acknowledgement, otherwise it will be counted under the plagiarism. Plagiarism is academically dishonest because student, scholars and faculty members are expected to do their own work. Whatever research I have done, you can follow my research, but you need to understand the facts, you need to understand the figures, what I have drawn, and in your words, you can write it down. This will not be under plagiarism. So the term, idea, process, results, or words refers to any other person's intellectual property. Means my finding, my idea, my process, results, anything. Plagiarizer use or take intellectual property that I have. Suppose any individual have created this cartoon for his own purpose, but I am using this picture here in this PPT, and I am suppose using this PPT for the profit generation purpose. In that case, it is under plagiarism act or piracy act. For non-professional or for suppose non-profit generation activities, for societal activities, you can use even there are certain no regulations which are given that for non-profitable activities you can use certain pictures, not all, but certain pictures which are not coming under piracy. Otherwise, you need to give proper acknowledgement. So, other thieves use or take physical properties such as money, computer things, etc. Means it is equally it is it means you are using any picture. Suppose I am using this picture, this is equal to thief, equal to stealing any object, any thing, any money, computer, or any aspect. So plagiarism means taking or using any of following intellectual property without permission of or giving the credit to the expert. Word that you are copying more than 4 to 6 consecutive words means if you are using 4 to 6 consecutive words that you are using in your document, that is coming under plagiarism. Rearranging the phrases and paraphrasing extensively. Idea that you are using originally informed, learned from the conference presentation and confidentiality reviews. Continued with the previous slide where it is representing the process and results and giving appropriate credit that refers to provide the name of original authors, artist, researcher, and scholar. We are providing the sufficient publication data that another person can find the original source, and use the disciplinary standards which are always already given to you, using quotation symbols to indicate the direct quotation. Here the means you are member of means is this plagiarism? What is coming under plagiarism? Means it is you are member of audience where research results are presented. You use idea described by one of the speaker in the research design in your next research project. Whether the idea is common knowledge or an original contribution by the speaker. The type of event, lecture is in a course, department meeting and professional conference, and whether the idea is written format, handout, or audience publication. Means you need to take care that how this presentation is given to you. And is this plagiarism where you are reading a journal article, chapter, book, you paraphrase the passage of text from material you have been reading in the literature view of a manuscript that you are writing here, whether this document is interesting material is a common knowledge, and whether the interesting material is an idea, word process, method, or results, tables, and figures. Or you need to answer the question whether you use the quotation symbol to denote the direct quotation from another source, or whether you are providing a reference citation to the source in the manuscript that you are writing. As well as you also answer the question that whether the manuscript is a course assignment, the thesis, dissertation, or a research article. Another one is another example is you are reviewing the submitted manuscript and you decided to use the novel research method and describe that in manuscript to enhance your own research. So also you need to answer or you need to take the decision that whether this interesting material is novel research method and it is useful synthesis of literature review and a useful instrumentation or a useful set of reference citation. Even though you also need to answer whether you are reviewing the submitted journals or manuscript or reviewing the submitted grant proposal. Or you also need to answer the question that you signed the confidentiality agreement when you have accepted the responsibility as a reviewer. Because when you are reviewing the document, then definitely it is you are reviewing other person's research and you are including that research in your document. So it is a very hard task for you to remove the plagiarism or to generate a new item. So means you are doing the research using the internet. Means is this no somewhere under plagiarism or not? You can choose your idea from a website in the decision your next research project and also use some quotes from the website in your literature review, and you need to give proper citation and the things that you need to understand whether the material is posted on website as compared to published in a journal or book, whether it is interesting material consists of idea or words or image, etc., or this is website that is including a notice that reader have permission to use the content. Another one is another example. You may check it with the PPT. Otherwise, let's move ahead. Plagiarism in research is specifically defined as a form of research misconduct. The definition of research misconduct on next slide on from the MSU procedure concerning the allegation of misconduct in the research and creative activity. Here, misconduct means fabrication, falsification, plagiarism, or any other practice that is seriously deviated from the practice commonly accepted in the discipline or in academic or research communities. Generally, the process proposing, performing, reviewing, and reporting the research and creativity activities. Ohio University is investigating 44 possible cases of plagiarism by current and former engineers graduate students, all of which were discovered a former graduate student who believed that professor there have a foster of culture of cheating. This is data that is revealed by MSU in 2002 to 2003 to 2006 to 2007. Reader and reviewer, check the reference and Google, you can use 4 to 6, and plagiarism detection software is also available. So preventing the plagiarism, where you need to understand the difference between common idea and original idea. Do the things right, and follow your consciousness. Even though give the credit to the researcher, make direct quotation and use the reference citation. Even though you need to seek help from other mentors also. Possible consequences are scholarly reputation is decreasing, self-concept is also decreasing, and your grades are also decreasing in a negative way. Dissertation is not accepted by the institution. Exclusion from university means a degree is also influenced, and exclusion from professional organization. Loss of job is also a very important element that you need to consider. Who are the publisher and what to do, what we do with the, means these are the publishers which are requiring the document with the lesser, or you can say minimum level of the piracy in itself, where Taylor and Francis, NRC Research Press, Canadian Research Science Publication, Blagrave, Oxford, Cambridge University, Nature Publishing, elsewhere Sage and Emerald group of publication. Why publish? Publishing is one of the necessary steps that embedded in the research or scientific research. It also necessary for graduation and career progression. What to publish? You may have any document which is containing new and original research or methods, review and summaries of particular subject, manuscripts that advance the knowledge and understanding in a certain scientific field. And what not to be published means the reports of no scientific interest, means that report already have been published by someone else. How could you publish that report again? Out of date work means you are publishing the data for in suppose 2024, and data is related to 2023, then what is usage of that? So need to give the updated work. Time to publish is important, where long and short publication timing is required. Means these are important steps that you need to take care in your mind. How to get your article published? Before you start, do not need to be panicked. And question to answer before you write is, think about why you want to publish your work. Is it new or interesting towards the society or towards the upcoming generation? Is it current hot topic? Have you provided the solution to some difficult problems? Are you ready to publish this at this point? Means you need to answer all these questions. In the first session of this program, someone asked me that how to get the publication in Scopus indexed paper. What are the different criteria? So these are the different criteria that are answered here, because everyone is interested to know something new that is not revealed yet. So your current topic need to be very, very important. It need to be general topic, even though hot topic, and you need to provide some solutions to the difficult problem. Otherwise, these journals will not publish. So what type of manuscript is required? Full article means it is a most important paper, often substantial and significant completed piece of research. Letter or review paper. Review paper is always considered by the researcher very easy task to prepare, but it is the hardest task to complete in an effective way, because if you are conducting any quantitative research paper in terms of review paper, then definitely you need a good amount of research paper to give any confirmation on your behalf. Select the best journal for the submission. Again, this is very important task. Look at your reference. This will help you narrow down your choices or your options. Review the research paper in research or in each candidate journal. Find out the hot topic and accept the type of research article. Ask yourself following questions. Is this journal peer review? Who is this journal is audience, and what is the average time of publication? And what is journal's impact factor? You need to answer all these questions before submitting your paper to any journal. Now, following the problem appear too much frequently, submission of paper which are clearly out of scope, and failure of format to paper according to the guide of author, inappropriate suggested review, inadequate responses to the reviewer, and inadequate standard of English, and resubmission of reject manuscript without revision. Means all these parameters or all these characteristics need to be understand carefully. What make a good manuscript? That is again do's and don'ts. Means contain a clear, useful, and exciting scientific message. Flow a logical manner that reader can follow. It is formatted to be best showcase of your material, and it is also written in style that transmit the message clearly. Means no ambiguous word have been used by you in your document that may be somewhere technical jargon or difficult to understand for the upcoming generation or for the upcoming experts, and words need to be very clear. No other meaning need to be there. So general structure of full article is title, author, abstract, then introduction, method, results, discussion, and then acknowledgement, then reference, then supplementary material. Developing your article is this is your opportunity to attract the researcher or reader's attention towards your document. Remember that reader are potentially author who will cite your article. Definitely, as I told you, that you need to understand that how your document is useful for upcoming generation. This upcoming generation is set of potential authors who are referring your article. Keep informed and concise. Avoid technical jargons and abbreviations, and discuss with your co-authors or some other no abstract is should stand alone, where consider the advertisement of your article should tell the prospective reader that you did and highlight the key findings. Avoid using the jargon and use words which reflect precise meaning. As I told you that you not need to use the words which are having multiple meanings in its nature. So keywords are, whenever we are using the keywords in our abstract, then these are the labels of your manuscript and critical to correct indexing and searching. Should not be too broad and very narrow. Use only those abbreviations that are firmly established in the field, and that may be the DNA, that may be check the guide your authors, and number, label, definitions, artist, and you need to understand. For writing the introduction, your choice or your chances of convincing readers for the importance of your work. Means how your work is important for him. Describe the problem in detail, where there are many existing solutions. What are the main limitations, and what do you hope to achieve? Provide a perspective consistent with the nature of the journal, and introduce the main specific publications on which your work is based. Editor hate reference irrelevant to work. Means you are not supposed to write down a huge number of references just to no increase the number of references or to increase the number of pages, but only relevant references are supposed to be included in the paper. So method section, where it details it is including a knowledge reader should be able to reproduce the experiments. Use the reference and supplementary materials for previously published procedure. Do not repeat the details of established method, and a journal summary with reference is sufficient. Results is only representative results, means during your questionnaire, in your questionnaire there are so many statements which are relevant to the study, but maybe lesser significant. So write down only the significant results in your document, because no one is having a high amount of data or high amount of time to invest in any document to read it only, and everyone is interested to have information in nutshells. So discussion is that it is including that here is chances to sell your data. How many manuscripts are rejected on because of the discussion is weak, because discussion is representing your data in few words. Make the discussion corresponding to the results, but not reiterate the results. Means it is not supposed to rewrite your results in discussion head again. Conclusion tells you your work advance in the field of present state of knowledge. Without clear, concise, and reviewer, the reader will find it difficult to judge the work and whether it is not only it is a metrics that publication in journal. Do not repeat the abstract or just list the experimental research results, where it is also providing a clear scientific justification of your work and indicate possible applications of the extension. If I'm talking about the acknowledgement, then it is the section which is recognizing those who helped you in the research. Means the experts or associates that are somewhere no that have given the assistance during the study. That individual may be advisor, maybe financial supporter, or maybe the proofreader, because you sent the documents for the proofreading to any experts, or your typist may be there, or any supplier may be there who provided you any required material. So reference means more mistakes that are found in the reference than any other part of the manuscript. It is one of the most annoying problem and cause great headache among the editors. Scientific language tense. Present the tense for knowledge facts and hypothesis. Past tense for experiments that you have conducted, even though past tense also included or also used for when you describe the results of an experiment. So review the editorial process carefully, where submission is not a black hole where you are putting your document and they will submit, they will accept it. So initial editorial reviewer, where many journals use this system for the initial editorial review many subjects manuscript without sending it for the review. Why peer review system is grossly overloaded, and editors wish to use reviewers only for those papers with a good probability of acceptance. Revision before submission is always very important, because there always a revision which is required on part of researcher, on part of reviewing authorities. Carefully study the comments and prepare the detailed letter of responses. Whenever I am submitting the documents to the journal, then definitely they will give me some changes, and I need to accommodate all the changes accordingly. If I am not accommodating, then they may reject that paper for the publication. Important to remember, where preparation is important, but not spend too much time on your preparation. Submit the right journal and submit to one journal only at one time. Check the English, pay attention to the structure, pay attention to the journal's requirement. That is again very important element. You need to understand the basic requirement of any journal before submitting, or before preparing your document also. I'm saying not submitting, because this is the common mistake that majority of scholar or majority of researcher are doing on routine basis. They first of all prepare their document, and after they try to find out which journal is appropriate. But the thing is, or best practice is that select the journal first. After that, understand the journal's no requirement, what are different requirements, and prepare your document according to the basic requirement of the journal. Ethics in the publication, where scientific misconduct, falsification of results, publication misconduct, plagiarism, different forms, means duplication submission, duplicate publication, lack of acknowledgement, means all these are very important element that you need to consider. Searching for the Scopus Index journal, means these are the important Scopus Index journals. Location or URL IDs. So predatory journals that are scam publishers that charges authors fee upfront but do not provide the service that they promise. The majority of these predatory journals will take payment without ever publishing the work, while other publishing articles without any form of any editorial and peer review process. What exactly Scopus is? Scopus is largest abstract and citation database of peer review literature and scientific journal, book and conference proceedings. What is Scopus? That is publishing the data around 82 million items and 7 million author public profiles and 80,000 affiliations profiles are there. So these all are very important that we will share with you. So process and acceptance rate are this is given on this PPT. Locating theories, literature summary, that is independent variable, dependent variable, not very difficult to understand. So if there is any query, then you can ask, because there are certain these are certain platform only that we have discussed many a time. This ORCID, Babylon, Scholar, Google Scholar, ResearchGate, Academia, and Grammarly, Quillbolt. These all are essential research tools. This we have discussed PDF Drive, that is again a database tool, article write tool, or Zotero or Turnitin. All these tool have been discussed in detail in earlier session. So if there is any query, then you can ask your query. This is open question and answer session. I repeat, if any person is having any query, then you can ask your query.
Good evening, ma'am.
Identify the right journal. Right journal is just relevant information is given on the internet, or different list have been many a times published by UGC, also by any other governing authorities. So you need to take care that whether this journal is authentic or not, and whether this journal is having good parameters, good impact factor, then you can get publication in that journal. Another is paraphrasing unethical? Definitely, if you are using this paraphrasing with the with the software, then it is not good up to a level. I would not recommend. I cannot recommend that you can go with the paraphrasing with any software tool, because this is research ethic, that I need to understand the document, or I need to understand the research paper that you have. Personally, if I'm saying that suppose this Minu Sarohi, suppose you have done your research on any topic, suppose in marketing, in HR, or any medical science. Suppose in medical science you have analyzed the impact of any drink or any medical medicine on any individual, and I am working in the same area, and I am not referring, or I am using your research as it is, without any consideration or any citation to your paper. That become unethical on my part. But I need to study your document thoroughly, whatever the research methodology you have adopted, whatever the findings you received, how you concluded the paper, and then I can cite it in my document. That is not unethical. Otherwise, if you are blindly following any paraphrasing tool, then I would not recommend. How to get Turnitin? Turnitin is a very costly software. Again, university is taking authority to use it, or it is purchasing it on its own behalf. Then it will generate some ID and password for the researcher, for the professors who are working in the institution, and then it will give this ID and password to you. Otherwise, it is not possible. What if all variables in data are interval or ratio scale variable, and it is not normally distributed? Which test we should use, parametric or non-parametric? Definitely, if data is not normally distributed, as I told you during the previous session, then non-parametric test you can apply. Otherwise, parametric tests are not applicable. And the selection of test, if I say, suppose interval ratio or ratio scaled variable, then selection of a test is dependent on your objective. According to objective, you can use your test. But if you are willing to use parametric or non-parametric test, then first of all, you need to check out whether your data is normally distributed or not.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for enlightening us with your clear explanation of day-wise explanation. And my special thanks to you that the second session day, I have asked a question how to give effective in Scopus and Web of Science, effective writings. Today, while I was listening to your lecture, I came to know and I am confident now that I can give the best in Scopus and Web of Science. Thank you so much for remembering that particular day's question and answering at the end of the day. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
See what happened now. Whenever we join any 7 days faculty development program, then you all the participant, not you all, but all participant. Every participant is having huge energy. He or she is having huge questions in their mind. So it is very difficult to answer every question at the first session or in second session. But when the sessions are moving ahead, proceeding, then definitely at the end, every question is tried to be answered carefully. So today's session was just to make you aware about what research ethics are supposed to be followed. Means what is the significance of plagiarism or research ethics for research, particularly how to select the journal efficiently, how these different tools may be used by efficiently, even though we have discussed in many sessions that what are the different platforms that you may use. But it was just concluding session that if there is any doubt, then you can ask.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much to every participant. If there is any query, then you can ask your query. Can AI tool be used for conducting, sir? Oh, sorry, Sumana madam. I'm so sorry to say here that no AI tool is significant or useful for effective research paper writing. No AI tool is significant or effective in research paper writing. Reason behind that whatever the objective or whatever the research problem you are having in your mind, that will direct you that what to do and what not to do. AI is not having mind or rational mind, we can say. AI is not having the rational mind. You can change your decision. AI cannot change its decision. If it took the decision, it took the decision. If figure is favorable, then okay. If figure is not favorable, then okay. AI is not good for qualitative research at all, even though it is not good for quantitative research also. During your research, suppose I started to understand the impact of entrepreneurial education on entrepreneurship development. When I started this work, then I was having in my mind that, okay, I'll study the impact of entrepreneurial education in state university only. But slowly and gradually, I came to know that there is a no lack of data. So what to do? Okay, we can include private university also. Then also I came to know that data is still deficient. Then okay, what to do? Okay, there are certain institutions which are working in the similar area, maybe some diploma area, or maybe some other degree providing institutions, or maybe some other training providing institutions. Then we can collect the data from that institution also, so we can change our decision. AI cannot change its decision.
Yeah.
Whatever you give, it will follow. AI is just only a stupid box in your hand. Whatever the command you gave to it, it will generate the results accordingly. Whatever the data you have given, it will generate the results only. One participant is asking, can I open source plagiarism test? Definitely you can use, but these are not relevant. These are somewhere having some challenges they are having. When you check your document in open source plagiarism software, then they will give you the minimum similarity. But if you check it in the ORCUNT or in the Turnitin, then there will be, because they are having the lack of or deficiency of data. These open source plagiarism software are having the deficiency of data in itself, and they are checking out the similarity in the available data. ORCUNT is having a good amount of data. It is giving you the good report, but Turnitin is having a huge data in itself. So we try to rely on Turnitin, even though ORCUNT is equally good. But due to that data availability, Turnitin become most reliable software, and it is giving you the most reliable report. That's why. Is there
Anybody
any,
else?
yes, is there any other query? You can ask your query.
Yeah, as Speaker Madam rightly said, the session is open for discussion. You can clarify your doubts through chat box or unmuting your mics. So today is the last session, but not least session. You can clarify your doubts from day 1 to session 1 to till now, till date.
Any kind of doubt you can ask related to research methodology, or you can say any research related to research, any aspect, not to today's session, not to previous session, any aspect you are interested to, you can ask. What
Yeah,
is
Dr.
manuscript writing? Manuscript writing is nothing but whatever the document you are writing, that is your manuscript. Any other query?
Anybody else, dear participants?
If you are not having any other query, then let's wind up this session here.
Yeah, Madam Speaker, Madam, can you recap the entire FDP in few lines?
Yes, sir, definitely. Why not? It is no with pleasure. So, this is no 7 days faculty development program which we have categorized or no classified in different sessions. Where first session was focused to give you the information about research paper or research proposal writing. How this research proposal is important for you as a researcher, and what is significance of research proposal for the research, basically how this is generating the objectives, how this is generating the hypothesis, and how these hypotheses are going to be tested during your study. Second session or other session was focused to give you the information about the literature review and significance of literature review. As we know that majority of researchers are considering this research methodology as a major source to increase the pages or number of pages, or to increase the number of references, but it is a very bad practice that that have been followed by the researchers. And research methodology is a very first and very important step that you are conducting or that you are taking up with, because this will only give you the problem statement in your hand. This will give you the research gap in your hand. What the scope of your research that will be generated with the help of the literature review, and it will also assist you to frame or to to follow the research methodology also, because whatever the earlier experts have adopted different steps to complete the research, you get the assistance in the literature review to complete that. Another session was focused to research methodology, where we have discussed the significance of research methodology, because majority of researcher are considering research methodology only sample size selection, sample selection, means how we have collected the data, not sample selection but data collection only, because they are considering that research methodology is only a data collection. No, it is not only a data collection, but it is including the sample size selection, sample size determination, your data collection tool, and your data collection methodology, how you collected the data, as well as it is also including the different statistical tools that you have adopted for the analysis purpose, and what is reason behind to adopt these analytical tools, whether your objectives are demanding for that purpose, that tool or not, or you are aware about that test, that's why you adopted that test. So research methodology will give you or will clear your all insights about these concepts. Their other session was was focused on statistical tools that are significant for the analytical purpose, where we have discussed correlation, regression, descriptive test, and we have discussed the factor analysis with the help of the SPSS. Even though in the other session we have discussed the research ethics, that was today's session, where we have discussed how this research ethics is very important or significant for the research purpose, and what are the different parameters that are coming under the research ethics. Here we have also discussed what are the different do's and don'ts that are need to be considered, and we have also discussed what are the different online or what are the different technical tools that are available for the research purpose that may be significant for your research. If there is still any doubt, then you can ask your doubt here. Otherwise, let's wind up this session.
Dr. Kavita, madam.
Yes, sir.
So, shall we conclude?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Dear participants, we are expecting 1 or 2 oral feedback about the session content, time, etc., or way of presentation, etc. So, 1 or 2 oral feedbacks. Just unmute your mics and say something about this online FDP. 1 or 2 quick feedbacks. Kindly introduce yourself and say something about this FDP.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening, madam.
Sir, good evening, sir. I am Sarah Grace from KL University, Andhra Pradesh, sir. It's really, when I joined for this session, I have a zero knowledge about research methodology. Recently, I have joined as a research scholar. But when I heard about research and research methodology, it is a very big task, I felt. But after I have joined to this course, continuously these 7 days without fail, I have attended. And through Kavita ma'am's explanation and PPT presentation, these are all gave me lot of confidence that I can give the best to the upcoming generation, especially for Scopus and Web of Science, how to write those papers. Okay, so thank you so much for your dedication and perseverance to give knowledge for the research scholars. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, ma'am. And thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, madam.
So much to you, because these sessions are basically for you people, just to clear your sights. I just try to clear the doubts that you are having in your mind. Maybe I may some lack to include few concepts, but definitely I tried a lot to elaborate every concept. If there is still any pendency, then we'll elaborate in any upcoming session also.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. But how
Thank
can
you.
we be in touch with you, sir and ma'am?
Yeah, Sarah, madam, simply send message to me.
Okay, sir.
So I'll connect with madam. Or
Sure, sir.
yeah, we'll help you, madam, in this
Sure,
regard.
sir. Thank you,
Okay.
sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you. So anybody else? One more oral feedback we are expecting. No doubt we are going to share a feedback link soon after this session in this in that delegates WhatsApp group.
Yes.
Even though we are expecting 1 or 2 oral feedbacks.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Kasturi
Yeah,
Harrison.
kindly introduce yourself. Yeah,
Can you hear me, sir?
yeah. Say loudly, please. Say loudly.
Yeah, I'm Kasturi Harrison from Jayaraj Annabakim College. Last time also I had this session with this Kavita ma'am. Whenever she comes, we are excited to know new things. Last time she explained about the AI tools, how we can use those AI tools in the research, and now she used other things also. I would like to request her to arrange for this SPS software also, because we as a medical students, we do practice practicals in that, and we don't know how to take the variables. We conduct experiments, but we don't know how to analyze that one and how to give the statistical data and interpret with that. If you arrange for a session, that will be also useful. Whenever I see Kavita ma'am's name, I will feel excited to join this.
So you are demanding for a session for on SPSS.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Because we do in the medical field, like wound healing, like that. We conduct experiments, but we don't know what type of test we have to do and how to interpret the results like that.
Okay.
Biology department. So
Oh, okay, okay.
we would like to have a session on that, ma'am.
Definitely no issue. SPSS, EViews and are no issue at all. We'll explain in detail.
Yes, ma'am. If you make an arrangement for a session, it would be nice, ma'am, for 3 days
De-
or 2 days. like that.
Definitely no issue.
Thank you so much.
Sure, madam. We'll discuss and decide.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. No issue.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much, madam, Kasturi madam. Anybody else? A lot of messages we are receiving through chat box. So, anybody else?
Good evening, sir and ma'am.
Yeah.
Myself, Meena Loshni, research scholar from Kamban College of Arts and Science, Coimbatore. So this is my first program regarding research because I'm into research in the field of management. So this session gave an insight into what research is about and how we can conduct that in an effective manner and for the use of the society. It was so wonderful. And as everybody said, Kavita madam was so excellent and she clarified each and every doubt very patiently and she listened to us in a very good manner. So for that, I should thank her a lot. And the session was highly informative, no doubt in that. It was highly informative. Within a very short span, I think she had completed the entire area. I am into questionnaire preparation, and this session was so helpful for me to how to prepare the questionnaire in an effective manner and everything. And regarding the publication, she gave so many ideas for researchers like us who are new to this area. And thank you, ma'am. Thank you for this wonderful session. And special thanks to sir for arranging this session, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much
Yeah.
for the honor, and I'm very glad.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Kavita madam, as well as thank you very much, madam. So,
Thank you, sir.
anybody else? We have a few more minutes of time.